Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. There's a lot of changes going on right now. There's a lot of energy and emotions and feelings and things kind of breaking down. A lot of like unknown and unfamiliar is kind of coming up. A lot of fears, childhood fears, things that were kind of conditioned and stuff from like childhood with your family in the education system, with your relationships and the way you perceive them, your perception of yourself, stuff like that's kind of coming up. It's been kind of coming up in different ways than normal. It's very weird right now. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm not going to really talk too much. I'm just going to kind of pull some messages and see what spirit has for us, or guidance or anything like that, and kind of see, what's going on with us. So I'm not really in the mood to talk, believe it or not. Okay. So on the bottom, we have 5 of Gabriel. This one too. Yeah, that one. Okay, I guess we're taking all of those. Hold on. Like some of you guys are saying, or like, working through areas where you like people please, or you're doing things out of alignment with who you are, what you desire, or you're realizing things that you wanted to do or you used to enjoy doing, you stop because somebody told you shouldn't do it, or it wasn't good, or they kind of like shut you down or whatever. So that type of stuff they're saying is coming up too, but they're saying just honor your truth. Like fuck what other people say and stuff, like honor your truth. And this just came to me actually right before I started doing this reading, because this came to me earlier today, but then something else just popped up and it made me think of this. And it was about like, I always said I wanted to be a nice person. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like, I was like, oh, I want to be a nice person. Like all those people that you see are like the quote unquote nice people, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I think there was some deeper conditioning there. I'm not quite sure. I haven't quite figured it out, which I'm not trying to figure it out. I just know like there's still something below the surface there. But I realized is, why do we try to be nice people? Why don't we try to be good people? Because being nice is not always actually doing the best, like we as a society look at people as like, you're nice if you just kind of, I don't know, you say things in a certain way, you do things in a certain way, and we don't really look at honesty and directness as being nice. We kind of look at that as abrasive or being mean or being disrespectful, when in reality, like being honest and being genuine with somebody is actually, to me, a good quality, because to me, it's like that actually is like you're going out of your comfort zone and somebody else's comfort zone to tell them something to actually help them because you care. So there's a huge difference between being a nice person and a good person. And like the nice person, oftentimes I think we've portrayed the nice person in society as this person who kind of is like, kind of takes everybody's shit and just does whatever everybody wants. And then they just kind of like put a smile on their face and act like everything's good. And that to me is a problematic behavior, but I don't know why I brought that up, but a lot of those type of things are shifting. I know randomly my fucking dryer started going off last night and started beeping, and then these random ass fears started coming up about a fire in my house. I'm like, what the fuck? And my dryer I haven't even used it. And like, I'm like, what the hell? And then it started bringing up these childhood things of stop, drop, and roll, and all this shit we're conditioned, this anxiety shit that we're conditioned as children, where I'm like, wait, why do we have these conversations with kids? And like, why are we teaching them this? I had a lot of shit going on the last few days, and I'm too exhausted to even try to go into them like I normally do and understand them. So I'm just going to let spirit bring it up if I need to talk to other people about it. But it's just like all kinds of fucking bullshit like that we've been like pushed on us, and like what's healthy and what's not, and we should live like this, and we should do this, or we should talk like this, or whatever it is. And it's like all of those things are coming up for people. So what they're more so saying is like, don't let other people like dull your light or make you feel like you shouldn't, do certain things you want to, or things that are like good for you or in alignment with you. Not like, trauma bullshit, but like things that are actually in alignment with who you are and stuff. And like, don't allow what other people's perceptions and like words are dictate you doing or not doing something that is best for you. We got the moon, 4 of Ariel, 5 of Gabriel. So this really is like literally we have a full moon. Today is Tuesday, the 6th. So tomorrow, I believe, is the full moon, Wednesday the 7th. But so I love that this card came out. But this is about facing your fears. And like with this card, it's like facing your fears and not being resistant to changing. Like you might not understand everything that's happening right now, but you don't have the pieces of the puzzle. And we keep getting that, specific thing, and there's pieces of the puzzle. It's like there's like something that's going on, and it's like you can handle it, but you have to change your perception and you have to release your fears, or at least see your fears for the truth, for what they are, and not allow it to like stop you from changing. Because this, I'm just getting so much resistance. It's like there's some type of fear or some type of trauma or some type of thing that you guys are not wanting to let go of. And you're really resistant to changing it. Like you're really resistant to either seeing it, believing it, or changing it. For some of you, it also might be something as simple as Spirit's showing it to you, but you're scared to actually trust it and believe it. So it could be the resistance in that way. But this is like, you're being guided along the way. And even though you might not understand everything that's kind of coming at you, you can handle all this shit. Like everything coming at you has a piece of, like, it has a purpose to bring you to a bigger part. Like, it's a piece of the puzzle to bring you to a bigger a bigger plan that you just can't see. And you're not supposed to see it right now. Like, that's why. We got the World, Page of Ariel, the Sun. So the World card, a very happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. It's like there is a cycle ending, and they're like, yeah, we know, we've been talking about this for a while. Because as you're ending cycles, it's not just like this, like one and done thing. It's not just this like, oh, like one day, like, something comes up and then it's done. It's like, it's almost like a spiral to get to the end of the cycle, a spiral, and you have to keep going until you get to the center, and it's still clearing stuff. It's still whatever. Like the ending of a cycle is a process that can take sometimes days to weeks to months. And so it's not that the end of the cycle isn't coming. It's that you're already in the middle of it. Like you're already ending the cycle. But as you're ending the cycle, you're in a new cycle, and they're needing to coexist to help with clearing this out. So you can see that this is, the new cycle is one way and the old cycle is another way, so you can release the old stuff. So it's going to obviously be different for everybody. That's the way the cards came out, like that. But it's like this, whatever this is you're in right now is a lesson. And they're reverting me back to that other card, which is like, it's a problem you can handle. It's a problem you can solve. You just got to go piece by piece. Okay. What can I do in this moment for myself? And this right here is the Sun card. This is something positive coming, something really good coming. The Sun a lot of times is the masculine energy. We got like the two masculines, which these are two major life events. And then this is, the learning card, the teaching card in the middle. So for some of you, it definitely could be a situation with another, masculine, or if you're the masculine, it could be a situation with a feminine teaching you something. But it feels, honestly, I'm getting like a little bit of masculine energy with this, that it's like having like a breakthrough and, being able to understand why everything kind of happened the way it did, and understanding the purpose of it and the intention that even when it hurts you or it's something that wears you down, they're saying the word cumbersome. I have no fucking idea because I never use that word. But even when it can feel like that and like pull you down, there is a purpose to it because it helps you gain strength. It helps you see something different. Like even when you're dealing with people that maybe aren't best for you or hurt you or do something, like, oh, we got the Hope card, which, guys, this is literally the Sun card in this deck. Okay, come on. It's like even when you can't see how like maybe somebody saying something or somebody doing something to you, like how that could benefit you, it might help you open up to see a different perspective. It might help you see where you're really not choosing yourself, you're really not choosing healthy people, where you're allowing other people's judgment or lack of acceptance to make you feel unworthy or undeserving, where you're allowing other people to dictate your internal worth and your internal value and feelings and stuff. I know for me, the last probably week, I think it's been about old people popping in my head, old friends, old relationships. It's been pretty constant over the last week. And seeing different things, understanding things a little bit more clearly. nothing, bad. Like, I'm not letting any of them back in my life. It's nothing like that. It's more so like reflection, understanding, growth. It's more so that type of stuff. So we pulled the memories of love card right after I said that. So yeah. Yeah, I pull another card. Oops. Hold on. Yeah or no? Okay. That card was like, no, we're coming out like this. Okay, we got rest and rejuvenate, fulfillment of wishes, and we got this underneath it. And they're saying illusions are not always what you think they are. Like, sometimes you think like an illusion is like, it's, oh God, hold on. Let me figure out how the fuck, because I'm getting like multiple messages. Sometimes you will see something in front of your face that is the opposite of it. Sometimes you will, and it will look one way, even though once you find out what it is, you go, oh shit, that wasn't even what I thought it was. An assumption or a perception. Sometimes it's somebody or something is said to you that's actually the opposite of the truth. Sometimes good and bad. It's sometimes like a situation where they are being very fucking vague right now. Like, they started telling me and then they just like, okay. So you can have somebody who pretends to be your friend and acts like they have your best interest at heart, but they can say and do all the right things, but really when you actually look at it, they're not actually saying and doing the right things, and they're going behind your back, and they're not like, they're betraying your trust. They're not really actually having your back when it comes down to it. They're not really being supportive or empathetic. They're like kind of faking it, or they're doing it for their own like manipulation or ulterior motives. And then you can have somebody who like kind of pushes you away or acts like they don't care as much, but could be like madly in love with you, but they're going through their own cycle, or they're going through fears, or they're going through traumas. Like, those are just two examples of stuff that they're saying where it can be on opposite ends of the spectrum. And a lot of you guys are in lessons to understand the difference. A lot of you guys are in lessons to trust your intuition, because your intuition told you at the beginning what each person was. And it's growing in power internally, which we got the power card too, growing in your power internally and understanding the difference of situations and clarity and stuff to help you actually move forward in your journey for wherever you need to go. So we got the fulfillment of wishes and rest and rejuvenate. And I swear to God, they said this to me in my dreams last night, this actual card. Like, they said it to me, and I don't think they showed it to me. But they literally said the words to me. I just forgot until I just pulled this right now. Maybe it's a message for me. I don't remember. I'm not even trying to interpret shit anymore because I'm fucking exhausted. Like, literally, just don't have energy. Okay, what they're saying is go within and really reflect on what you want. Be really honest with yourself and really reflect on what you want. And if it's what you truly want, then trust it's going to happen for you in the way you want it to, or better. It might not look exactly the way you want it to, but that's because sometimes things can be bigger than you can imagine them to be. And they're telling me this. So I'm going to give you the perfect example. So sometimes we keep ourselves small. I remember years ago, I was going to go back for my master's in psych to be a therapist. And I remember I was like, I don't want to go for my master's. I don't want to have to go do fucking internships. I don't want to have to go do like the supervision. I don't want to have to do all that stuff. But and then I was like, I'm just going to open my own practice and, whatever, because I don't want to work for somebody and all this shit, whatever. But I was thinking so small because I was wanting to help people. And look at where I'm at right now. I do help people on an individual basis, like even people who come in my shop, but also I do readings and videos that help way bigger fucking groups. And they're also have shown me some of my next journey where I'm going to be helping even bigger groups of people and stuff like that. So sometimes, we're going to be doing kind of what we want, which below the surface, my goal was to help people heal trauma, to help people to feel good about themselves and feel empowered to live without holding themselves back and being like comfortable and loving who they are. So that was, the intention of doing therapy, is helping people feel seen and heard and heal things, things that I wish I had growing up, things I wish I had even as an adult, and doing that. So, the idea behind the therapy was that, and now I'm doing that at a bigger scale than I imagined, which I'm actually perfectly okay with. So that's what I mean is like, you might whatever your underlying kind of goal is, that is always going to happen or bigger. That's what I kind of mean. It might not always look the way you want it to. And, you know, mine obviously is like a crystal store where I'm doing fucking readings, which a lot of times I call them spiritual therapy, or that type of, can't call it therapy, but you understand what I'm saying. We're talking about those types of things in the readings and stuff. And then I also have other things that I enjoy, like crystals, and I have other passions of mine that exist within that. So it's even more than just, you know, doing the therapy and stuff. It's actually like incorporating so many different passions of mine in there, because, you know, I do the roller balls and I make, you know, stuff like that, but I'm going to make candles soon too. And like, I made my own deck, you know, shit like that, but I get to make jewelry and I get to do other things that I also like. And I love crystals and I love talking about crystals. And I actually, believe it or not, one of my passions is doing business stuff. So I very much enjoy the element of creation and moving things around in the business aspects. So that's what I mean is like, you might think it's going to be something like that, but then it is a bigger thing, you know, than you're thinking. It's not ever going to be something bad or just, you know, whatever. It's always going to be something better than you want, than your mind can picture, because your mind likes to keep things small, because we can't imagine great big things happening. Because like, even if you told me, you know, 4 years ago to have a crystal store and I'd be doing all this stuff, I would probably be like, I mean, that'd be cool, but I wouldn't necessarily, well, business wise, I've never really had the fear stuff. Like I do, but I don't. But I mean, back probably 4 or 5 years ago, I probably would have looked at you and I'd been like, you think? Nah, probably not. Like, no, that's too much work. No, it's, you know, whatever bullshit we tell ourselves. So it's like, that's the whole point, is like, it's always going to be bigger than you can imagine. And it's always going to be a lot easier than you think, because we always think, we got to go back to school. We got to do these things. And no, you don't. You think you do because you've been conditioned to think that. But there's always some type of avenue, or there's some type of thing where spirit guides you to do things in your own way, where you're not having to do these extra things like going to school when you don't want to. And we box it in and we create these illusions and we create these fears and we limit our mind, kind of what they were talking about before, like we limit our mind to these specific ideas and belief systems, and they're just not true. So, okay, we got hope and power, and I love this because this is literally the light card in that, the whatever the fuck the card is. No, my brain's not functioning. Yeah, the sun. The light card, the sun, whatever. The same fucking card. They came out in both decks, okay? And then we got memories of love and root chakra, which we keep getting the root chakra a lot. Hold on, they want me to do this one first. So a lot of you guys are just releasing things that are unstable right now. You're releasing, you probably are having a lot of memories and thoughts coming up from the past, hearing certain things, seeing certain things from the past. Anything that really is blocking your root chakra, any fears, any safety issues, your needs getting met, anything like that is being brought up to the surface and emotionally being cleared. So your root chakra, your foundation is stable, which we've been doing that for a while. And if you think about it, it takes time. Like things take time to release, to process, to heal, to lay the foundation. Like we can't just do it all at once. We already get overwhelmed with the shit we get overwhelmed with. So imagine if they were blasting it at you, you know, in a shorter period of time, it's going to feel even worse. So that's where like the patience and trust that you're not always going to feel like this come in. What do you want me to okay, I don't know what the they said something to me, but not for me to necessarily repeat to you, but it's not necessarily for me to know. It's more so like, I guess they wanted me to energetically feel it. So if there's a message that somebody needs when you're watching this, you would have felt what I just felt and you would have got the message you needed. Because I was like, why are you, yeah, whatever. I just go with the flow. They do their own thing. I don't understand everything they do, but I know everything has a purpose. And I just am like, okay, I don't need to know. Just do your thing, guys. Okay, with the hope and the power card, a lot of you guys, you might not be feeling very hopeful. You might be feeling kind of pessimistic or feeling a lot of fears and doubts. We're clearing them, like I said, but it's not being falsely optimistic and falsely hopeful. It's more so looking at things like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? How is this helping me? Like, yeah, I might be in a situation where I feel really shitty, where I feel really heavy, where things don't feel great. but how can I stand in my power in this situation? What can I do that's in my control? And try to build up your light, because as you're doing that, you're going to be shifting. I know for me, the last few weeks, I don't know. I mean, I know some of it, but I don't fully know all of it. I have been getting triggered by so many fucking people lately, like just coming at me, just saying some shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And it has been like so much like more extra than normal, like extreme, where I'm like, what the fuck? But one of the messages I got from them is, as after the fact, not during, when I saw the pattern of it, because I look at patterns, was every time that stuff happens, I kind of always check in with myself and like, you know, what's my responsibility? What's somebody else's responsibility? Like, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? Whatever. I always kind of check in and stuff. And sometimes I would question, like, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do this. And I would catch myself where I'm realizing I'm not standing in my power, where I'm realizing I'm actually giving my power away, where I'm going, having the thoughts, not necessarily the behaviors, having the thoughts or the mindset of going back to old ways of thinking from my conditioning and my trauma and stuff. And like, so a lot of that stuff is kind of coming up, but as you're standing in your power, you're actually expanding your light. You're actually healing those areas where your light was kind of shut down and dulled, where people tried to bring you down, where people try to make you small to kind of fit in their box because they feel uncomfortable, because they feel insecure, because they feel threatened. Or some people who literally are manipulative and like to feel powerful, and the way that they feel power is by putting other people down and hurting other people. So whatever fucking reason, you guys should be getting kind of insight on those people. I know I talked about that before. You should be getting insight on those type of people. They're showing me the card. I didn't pull from this deck, but they're showing me this card, the deception card, where they're showing me like this person like kind of whispering and talking shit, and the other people kind of behind them. And they keep saying like, not everything is as it seems. So don't just, I'm trying to understand what the hell they're trying to get at. Like, don't just believe something about somebody without having a conversation with them first. So for example, like if somebody came to me and was like, hey, so-and-so said this about you, instead of me just believing that person, me going right to the other person and saying, hey, was this something that like you said about me? And if they did, like, what was the reason for that? And kind of getting the truth rather than making assumptions, because it feels like some people are trying to start shit or gossip or trying to like fuck relationships up or something like that. So just be mindful of like the source of information, and not even just the source of information. Be mindful of the stories you're telling yourself or what you're believing. Because everything is not always true. And this happened to me at my old job. Luckily, I'm a blunt person, so people just know I'll tell you. But like this, I love it because there is this girl. I used to work at DCF. Okay, people are just fucking drama starters in general, which I have like no fucking tolerance for shit like that. I have just like no patience for like high school drama. But apparently told this one chick, I don't know why she felt threatened by me, told this one chick I called her a bitch. And I found out a few weeks later, and I was just like, what? I didn't call her a bitch. So I went to the girl that I supposedly said this about, and she's like, yeah, I know. She's like, yeah, I heard that. And I was like, why didn't you say anything? She's like, because I know you didn't. And she's like, you would have said it to me directly. And I was like, fair. And she goes, I didn't tell you because I knew you're going to get fucking pissed. And like, that's the whole point, is like, I'm a very blunt, honest person. So people usually know like what you see is what you get. You're not going to, but not everybody is that way. And not everybody's going to believe that. Sometimes people believe shit because they just like the drama and they want to hear shit and it makes them feel good to gossip and get into other people's drama and bullshit. But like, ask fucking questions. Like, don't just believe what the fuck people say, because not everybody has good intentions. And I will tell you this, and I'm just going to say this. I know I brought up the nice person thing earlier, and I kind of understand why I brought it up now, and the whole circling back. I have noticed this for so long. I have always felt people's energy before I even had awareness to it. And I always remember just not liking certain people. The second I meet certain people without them even opening their mouth, don't like that person, don't trust that person. And I've noticed that it's always the people that everybody's like, they're so nice, they're so sweet. And they usually are the fakest, most manipulative ass fucking people ever. And I think that's why they had me bring it up in the beginning. They're like, yup. So for whoever needs to hear that, just because everybody says they're fucking nice, everybody says they're fucking great, doesn't make it true. Does not make it true, because some people don't actually fucking feel into what the hell the truth is, and they just believe what people present to them. But somebody could present to you as this nice ass person and talk to you and help you through your shit, but behind their back, they're going and betraying your trust, or behind your back, they're like sitting there and actually trying to manipulate you or start shit while you're in those situations, trying to pretend like they're something they're not. So I don't know who the fuck's going through that, but they had me bring that up more than once. So I hope it helps you guys. I'm going to try to do like a more in-depth reading. Obviously it went a little bit longer than I planned on, but I'm going to try like when I have a little bit more energy or I'm guided to. I just wanted to do this reading because I feel like there's so much shit going on right now, like so much stuff collectively and individually. So I was like, let me just do like a reading and hopefully get some messages for you guys. So I hope it helps. I hope you guys all have an awesome night.